Hello everyone, Professor Toybox here along with Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey, and that means it's time for another episode of Toybox Tutorials. Last time we started working on a side quest for Mickey where he has to help this farmer out, and the farmer has lost his sheep. They got out during the confusion when all of the chaos happened in town over there, and he needs some help rounding them up. So we set him up as a mission giver last time, and we looked at critters. And we've got some friend generators here with a radar marker that will generate 3 different sheep that we need to save. And when we walk up to him and accept his mission, that generates the sheep. But now we need somewhere to put them. And that brings us to our topic for today, the collection pen. So as we come into the Creativitoys drawer, you'll find the collection pen there. And I'm going to go ahead and set it down right over here next to the farmhouse. And I can't get it too close, unfortunately, so I'll have to put a little bit of a gap there. And as we open the logic menu for this toy, you'll see there are properties, and there's one property where you can remove the actor that you put into the pen, whether that's sheep or something else. And if you want it to be removed automatically, you would turn it on. I'm going to leave that off for right now. And this toy has no behavior. It's just a trigger for other toys. So I can't use a button to invoke this toy to do anything, for example. But this toy has a number of trigger signals, and it just depends on what you put in the toy. So you can put enemies in the toy, or friends, or a physics ball, or a townsperson, or a critter, or anything. And this trigger signal will broadcast when anything is put into there. So we're going to use this to put our critters. And we've got 3 critters that we need to keep track of. And so we're going to hook this up to a counter like we did in town. This quest is very similar to that. So I'm going to drop the counter over here. And I'm going to set the counter up to work similar to what it did in town. And actually I'll make this one work, we should probably make it work consistently. So the target count, again, I can't set this to 0, so I'll just put it at 1, doesn't really matter. Visible display is on. The start reset count is going to be 3. We got 3 sheep we need to save. And reset on target reach doesn't really matter, doesn't need to. Alright, so when we talk to the mission giver here, and we accept his mission, so on text proposal accepted, we'll come over to our counter, and we're going to do a reset on the counter. And that will take, if I open the logic menu, as a review, that will take the start reset count of 3 and make that the actual count. And it automatically bumped up the target count. Interesting. That doesn't matter, so we're not going to use that anyway. So that'll make the current value of the counter 3. And then on the collection pen, we'll do a new logic connection. And when a critter is entered, we'll come to our counter and we'll decrement it by 1. So we've got 3 sheep, and every time we put a critter in there, it's going to make the counter go downward. And the quest will be over when the counter reaches 0. So that's really all the collection pen does, is you connect that up to other toys. You can connect it up to scoreboards, or in our case a counter, or any number of things you can think of. And let's see, on the counter, we'll do a new logic connection. When 0 is reached, we should do another celebration. And so we'll come over to our celebration toys from an earlier video, which are going to be down below the terrain over here. And we'll come to our sound generator, and once again we'll do our fanfare musical flourish. And new logic connection when 0 is reached. Come over to the action enforcer and have Mickey celebrate. And we'll have all the players celebrate. And we should have some fireworks that go off. So I'm going to go ahead and drop down a couple of locators over here. And I can't reuse the fireworks cannon from before, because if I hook these locators up to those, then fireworks are going to be going off over in town and over here, and I don't really want that. So we'll go ahead and just put down one locator this time. Oops. And we'll do one firework cannon. This isn't part of the main quest, so I don't think we need to do as big a celebration. I'll put that back there for right now. And we'll do a new locator connection on the firework. Connect that to that locator. And on the counter, when 0 is reached, we'll launch a firework. And we'll do, let's see, we'll do a snowflake. And we'll make this one blue, because it's a side quest. There we go. And the last thing we should do, once the last sheep is thrown into the pen, we don't really need to keep those sheep around. So we'll go ahead and remove them. So new logic connection when 0 is reached. We'll come over to each of the friend generators and remove the sheep that it generated. And that'll help keep our memory low, because right now my memory is starting to get a little full, and there's still a lot I want to do in this toy box. So I need to really start paying attention to what I'm doing as far as memory management. And that always seems to be the limitation we run into. At least I do. There's so much I want to do, and I just don't have the memory to do everything I want to do. Okay, and the other thing we should do here, now that all the sheep are gone, we'll go ahead and turn off the radar marker for the sheep. And there we go. So that should be just about everything for this quest. So we talked to the mission giver, and when the player enters the range like we saw last time, that kicks off the text displayer. When we accept the mission, that generates the sheep and turns the radar marker on for them, and also resets the counter to 3. And then as we run around and collect the sheep and throw them in the pen, that should decrement the counter, and when we reach 0, that'll be the end of the quest. So let's see how it works. So now we'll run up to our mission giver, and he says, "Will you help me?" I'll say, "Sure, I'll help you." So now we've got 3 sheep we need to save. We'll pick up 1. And there's 1 sheep saved. Here's another one. That guy's going to be a problem. Don't run away. Get back here, you. There we go. And we come back over here. And there we go. That's the end of the mission. So that's not too bad. And we can move those locators around that I connected to those friend generators and move those sheep out a little bit. and so we have to go hunt for them a little bit more. And I may also put some brooms around here just to kind of complicate things a little bit, but we'll do that later. But that's basically the little side quest. Nothing too exciting, but shows you how to use the collection pen and where to put the critters once you save them. And you can actually use this critter collection pen for not just critters, but for townspeople, as we saw last time, or as we saw earlier. And you can use that instead of this trigger area and fenced-in area. So if you wanted to, I'll leave that as an exercise to you. If you choose to do so, you can take one of those and replace this trigger area and see how that works. You can use it again, as I said, for townspeople or whatever you want to collect. So, I hope you've enjoyed this video. This was a lot of fun to put together and a nice short little quest. There's one more thing I want to do, and that's to make sure the mission giver is deactivated at the start of the level when I first load it up. And for that, we're going to need the level starter, and that'll be our topic for next time. Meanwhile, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my channel or sign up on my blog so that you don't miss the next episode. And for now, Mickey and I are signing off from my Fantasia toy box, and we'll see you next time.